23rd July 2021. The residents of Chitiaza village in Sembabule district woke up to find the body of a man lying in a pool of blood. He had cuts all over his body. They looked like they were inflicted by a sharp machete. The dead man was Edward Bali, 41-year-old. Both locals and security officials considered it a murder and kicked off investigations. 2 days later, at about 9 p.m., the residents of Kenangasi village in Chiseka sub-county, Lwengo district, heard screams. At that time, 50-year-old Kasim Kawesi had been attacked and was about to be killed. The 23rd July murder of John Kabanda and Vincent Kalia, residents of Taga village in Nkoni, Lwengo district, raised eyebrows. The duo were waylaid as they rode their bicycle back to their home and were cut with machetes. For the police, they noticed a pattern and a distinct message from the killers. Preliminary investigations revealed that the killers were not taking anything from the victims except their life. They also noted that they would not attack the same village a second time. The enemy took a short break and many thought it was over. On 31st July, they struck again, this time in Nakalete village, Lwengo district, attacking Joseph Nkanka and Godfrey Kawesi, who survived with severe injuries but both later died at Masaka Regional Referral Hospital. The next morning on 1st August, a man only identified as Mugenyi was waylaid at Katindo village, Lwengo district and killed. The attacks intensified, perplexing security officials who wondered what tactics to use to avert the growing crime. 4th August, Joseph Dumba was killed. 12th August, Lubega Ramadan, Sowedi Kayemba lost his life on 15th August. All these were attacked in different locations. By the end of August, more than 25 people had been killed and the matter became a national issue that inspired debate in Parliament, with legislators calling for government to explain.
That while in other areas you will have people grazing with the AK-47, in our area people are being butchered and those whose duty it is to protect them are in Kampala. But we do not have information as to the findings of government over the past same manner of killings. So how do you help?
Apprehension of a number of suspects has been done and their cases are being processed for prosecution. Joint operations with police in small squads, manning snap checkpoints and searching for suspects.
Police and the army put locals on the alert, but the killers were cleverer. Investigations started to point at certain opposition politicians. On 6th August, Kawempe South MP Muhammad Segirinya and Machinde West's Alan Sewanyana had been summoned to Masaka Central Police Station to answer to some allegations. The next day, the MPs were charged before the Chief Magistrate's Court in Masaka and immediately remanded to prison. Part 2 of this story tomorrow contains revealing information by survivors and relatives of the victims. On the morning of 24th August 2021, 3 bodies were discovered in this village of Setala. The trio had been waylaid by unknown assailants and hacked to death. Right in this position, it's where the body of a late 62-year-old Sulaiman Kakoza was found, and that of Francis Chizanswa right in this place, while that of 50-year-old Tadeo Chimba had been dumped right here. I also attended the burials of the 3 victims. Leaders and security officials gave messages of hope. NTV wanted to know what life has been like after the attacks. We first visited the home of the late Francis Mugirwa in Setala village, Kabonera sub-county in Masaka city, but there was no adult to talk to. Our team continued to the late Sulaiman Kakoza's home, which is nearby. His son Quraish Semanda was cleaning around the abandoned house. As he spoke, it was evident that he misses his father.
Kuba najjanga wano amusanga wano nga nabo baba afumbye emmere nga ngamba nsooka olye ku mmere olyoka ogende nga nemba nnyina kyenjagala ng'asobola okkinkolera.
Semanda has questions about why his father was targeted.
Sigamba nti oba yali alina ssente, sigamba nti oba yali alina amubanja, oba yali abeerawo mu mbeera ya bulijjo ng'era omuntu w'obeerawo.
The young man is disappointed that the investigators have not involved him, not even with an update of the ongoing case in which scores of people were charged with the murders in Greater Masaka.
Olwasembayo ne bankubira essimu ne banga nti twagala essimu ya taatawo ne ntwala layini. Kati we natuukayo ne bannyambuseeyo waggulu mu buwoofiisi ne baŋŋamba yeno layini nti ate essimu ne mbaga nti nze essimu layini nagijjamu ekisimu n'enkisuula nga nange sirina gye nkitwala, mubadde mwagala layini. Ne baagala okunsibirayo nga baŋŋamba ndabika okuba nga nina ku kyemmanyi.
He plans to refurbish the house and stay there. On the day Semanda's father was killed, his neighbor Ronald Sebioto survived.
Bwe nnyimirira ntuukako mugambo waayo kiki ng'oyanguwa nnyo ojja gye ndi lwaki. Nangamba dda ssebo nze ndi ku makubo gange. Kati nze saamanya kuba ye yali ayimiridde bw'ati. Kumba alina ekintu kye yali akutte nze kye saamanya. Kati mu kukyuka nze ntambule yakikwatira n'akinkuba ku mutwe. Okukinkuba ku mutwe ngwa wansi, bwe nagwa wansi kati ngenda okudda engulu bwe nti nga ndaba kala akutta ayongera akole ki akube amalirize.
He says he was not paying much attention to the warnings that Masaka was under attack by machete-wielding thugs. This man's life changed a lot after the injury inflicted on his head.
Nsobola okutambulira mu mbeera yonna kalulusi musana nga ogwaka nsobola okutambula. Ne kati kiyinza okuba ekizibu bwe mba nga sitaddeko nkofiira. Kati embeera ng'eyo simanyi nnyo mu maaso gye kinaaba.
At the time, President Museveni ordered that each victim's family be given 10 million shillings. The survivors were also promised some money. Sebioto says he has not received anything, even though he was invited for meetings to sign for the money.
Tutuuka mu hoteeri tutudde tulinze bamaze bazze mutabazi yajja. Kati mu kujja atuukawo awo abitubuuliddemu nga bigenda okubeera agamba sente zazze zigenda kujja naye zigenda kujja ku akawunti zammwe naye tugenda kugulawo akawunti era tugenda ku DFC essaawa eno katikati mwangwe tugende n'okugenda eyaze nga teweetegese toddaka nti ate atalina ndaga muntu gwe jangu tugende tugenze kati ffe basurvivor bamala batujjamu baga nti kati mmwe mulina ate gurupu gye mugenda okugiramu endala etali ku bano y'abamabugo.
NTV spoke to Godfrey Mutabazi, the former LC5 chairperson for Lwengo district, on this matter of the money.
Bampa milioni 10 zenawa Kawesi eyafiirwa muganda we mutabani we tata we lekirati kitwakola. Ezo obujanja bisazimanyako era tezisimanyi nti gyeziri.
Teonista Luchamzi, a resident of Kabonera sub-county, also survived with a deep wound on his head. Because of his injury, his speech is uncoordinated, and his wife Rose Nachanzi spoke on his behalf.
Kati mujo ebigo byagwajja agwa mu kyoto. Naye tumusabye tebatuwa. Tulajana tetulabye kuyambibwa.
She narrated the challenges she has endured to keep the family moving.
Ndabe ne bula kasente obudo bwe sikola. Wano wola batu wali kyakulya. Era ekyokulya nkiyiya buyija nkijja mu nsawo. Nasobola okwewola sente kubana nali obudo munnepa akasizanga ngende eyo.
They say that no government official has visited them, though a few NUP members of parliament have come by. Other residents say they still live in fear and accuse their local leaders of frustrating the efforts to search for and arrest the suspected killers.
Akavuka bakatayiza bakakwata bakaleeta nga chairman aganti onalabika bambi abadde anoonya abawala mu wala muto ne mubuza abawala banoonyeza ku lusaalu. Nti alabika abadde anoonya gamuganda edda tewali buzibu yayina essimu. akubire ku beewaabwe oba abalaga ebbaluwa y'erosi yamukkiriza okutambula oba endagamuntu nga basirika nze mwemmanyi ebintu n'ensi we ne mugamba tulage nno ku ndagamuntu nga tagiina leeta ebbaluwa y'erosi nga tagiina bamwaziza mu nsonga basangamu akatabo simanyi obwerufu simanyi biki ebyo bye yali yawandiika nga baleeta mmotoka nga bamutwala ku poliisi wayita ennaku nga bbiri omuwala omuwala weeyo omuwala gwe bagamba nti yali omuwala naganze sibeerangako naye namulabye ejjo ng'ali omwo mu kalitunsi.
I also went to this family in Chingo village in Lwengo district. They survived an attack on the night of 28th August when security officials intervened early and drove off the attackers. Jowerian Nachirija collapsed and was rushed to hospital. According to the police spokesperson for Greater Masaka, Muhammad Suboga, the area is relatively peaceful now.
There is that concerted effort of coordination, control and communicate with these foreign stakeholders in order to fight the vice. It's not only one-man show. It calls for collective responsibility.
The survivors say they have not received any psychosocial support, but Nsubuga says otherwise. The victims also feel they have been excluded from the justice processes and wonder in whose interests the government is working. Solomon Kawesa, NTV.